Thanks for tuning in to Two Minds,
No
No Limits with Merritt and Brenna. And after several years, we are finally starting a podcast that we've been talking about. And here we are. So I'm Brenna, and in short, I'm the crazy one. I'm just kidding. No, I'm not. Well, yeah, kind of.
Yeah. Out of the two, yeah.
Yes, out of the two. But pretty much a while ago, we got the privilege of living together as best friends, and we would just have like really good conversation. And we were just like, let's start a podcast because we're funny. We're really fucking funny.
And our first name that we came up with was what was it?
Best friends.
Best friends in bed.
Yeah.
Because we lived together for 2 years,
Mm-hmm.
and our craziest, deepest, most random talks were when we were laying down to go to sleep.
Yeah, we slept in the same bed together. Best friends in bed.
And now we're finally doing it, and I'm excited.
Yeah. So today we wanted to kick off our first podcast on just friendship, because friendship is such I feel like a vital piece of life and an important part of our worlds. And they could be positive or they could be negative. I think we've both had experience with both. But our friendship that we share is something very good and very healthy.
Mm-hmm. Like, we don't argue. We don't fight. We've had one.
When?
My birthday.
Oh God, that was this year.
My last birthday, and it was like, we don't do this. Like, we've never came to that point, and
yeah.
And I think, the alcohol was played a huge factor into that. But other than that, like, we just vibed together, and living together for 2 years, it was like I couldn't do that with anybody else. We never argued.
Yeah.
We never had differences. And some people, that would tear a friendship apart.
Oh yeah.
Is living together.
I think we understand each other's like body language and demeanor, because when we would get home from work, we would kind of know we're not going to sit here and conversate. We're going to put on a movie and we're going to lay each on a couch and we're just going to watch it. We're not even going to talk to each other because we weren't in the mood for it.
Until it's time to go to bed. And then we'd be like, so my day was like this. And it was just like, then we kind of unwind a bit. It's like you'd get home and you had to unwind. And we each knew how to read the other of, okay, she needs her space and needs quiet and just chill.
Yep. And so a little backstory, Merritt and I have known each other for just about 20 years. I think over that now. I think we met each other when we were 13, middle school, 8th grade. And then we went into high school, and that's where kind of life went separate ways. I think, sophomore year?
Yeah.
And then we didn't meet back up and circle back to each other until we were like 28. Yeah, till we were 28. And that was interesting. And I think it just is like we circled back through there was a person that we were both friends with that we also knew from back in middle school, and we were all on a vacation. And the vacation went south because of a bad friendship and somebody not holding up their part to sustain a friendship. And then that's where we kind of like circled back and bonded on the last day or two that we had in Vegas. And now here we are 6 years later with a really solid friendship, kind of like a sister.
Yeah.
If anything.
Like, we, at that point, that was like 2018, we were like back to like acquaintances.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't even say it was like a friendship. It was just this middle person who we were both very close with.
Yeah.
And we never really came together until that trip.
Yeah.
And then that trip went south, and then inseparable.
Yes, literally.
And we like realized, I don't even know, but that's like a prime example of, there's people who you have seasons with,
yeah,
and people who teach you things and how not to be
Mm-hmm.
in a friendship. And we kind of really realized how negative that person was in our lives.
Yeah. Oh my
And
God.
everything clicked. And it was just like, we both had the same mindset. Like, that's just not how you do people.
Yeah.
And it's seasons. Everybody's a season at some point. But you have people who are seasons, and then you have people who are in your life forever.
Lifetimers.
Yeah. And that other person was a season.
We are lifetimers.
Yes.
We are lifetimers.
For life. Literally like a spouse.
But we don't fight, because I feel like spouses fight. We don't fight.
We don't fight.
We have great communication.
Yeah. Yeah. But I talk to her every day.
Mm-hmm.
After work. We call each
Yeah.
other and we talk about for like an hour.
How was your day today?
Yep.
What do you think is the primary thing that has set our friendship apart from different friendships you've had and then I've had?
I think we've gone through so many similar things. We're both very understanding people. Communicate. But it's weird. It's like I won't communicate with other people like I do. It's like weird.
Yeah.
It's like I can tell Brenna everything,
Yeah.
and I can't do that with a lot of people. And like even my boyfriend, like he'll be like, "You told Brenna, huh?" I'm like, well, "Duh." like Brenna knows everything.
Yeah.
And it's not even like a bias. It's just the feedback that I get, and we can hold each other accountable.
Yeah.
She can tell me I'm wrong. I can tell her. And I think we just communicate really well.
Yeah. I agree with that. And I think, and not even just other friendships that I've had, but other relationships, when you talk about the vulnerabilities of your life or your fuck ups,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes the fuck ups that we do intentionally, like, you know, usually in most cases, when you talk about those things to people, they later on will use that against you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think and I've experienced that both in previous friendships and just other relationships in my life. And I think with Merritt and I, we can be very vulnerable and very transparent. And neither one of us have that in us where we're like, oh, I'm going to notate that because I'm going to save that for later.
Yeah.
Like we talk each other through things of like to make each other better. And if we're wrong, we'll tell each other. Like we just had this conversation the other night. Like, I think we're both being a bitch right now, and we need to stop.
And, yep, she told me I had to apologize, and I was like, okay, like you're right.
Yeah, I think it's like a respect thing.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, I think we've both gone through so many things, so it's like I know you can relate from some point in your life to what I'm going through or stuff you go through. You can relate. Work wise, kind of in the same, not field, but
it's similar
environment.
Yeah.
So we both get our long days, our stressful days.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's some people friends that don't work anything like what we do.
Yeah.
And they can't relate. It's just like, oh, okay. It's like, I know. She tells me the days she's had. I'm like, okay, I've had those days.
Yeah. I love how we support each other through things we go through in different relationships because we haven't always agreed, but we still support each other.
Yeah. Like we kind of let each other, unless obviously we're doing something dangerous.
Yeah.
But it's like we kind of let each other, we're adults. So it's, if that's the choice and what you want to do, I support you. I might not agree with it. And we don't really voice it either.
Yeah.
It's like, if this is who you want to be with, and I support it.
Yeah.
We're not in each other's ear like, you don't need to do this. Like, this is not good for you. There are friendships where people do that.
Oh,
And
yeah.
that works for some people. And I don't think that does for us, is we kind of let each other live your life.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, I'll be there to support you, to pick you up,
Oh, yeah.
to cheer you on. There's no judgment.
Yeah.
Like, I've been in stupid shit, and
yeah,
some people would be like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Yeah.
But it was just like, you know, you try to talk them through it. Like, if what is it? The term, if you like it, I love it. Like,
mm-hmm.
If that works for you, do it.
But we don't force each other into like decisions,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll share concerns we may have. But like the friendship that blew up on that trip in Vegas that I was talking about a little bit ago, like that friendship was toxic. Like in that friendship, what I experienced on my side of it with that person was, that person felt inferior of, when I would date somebody. And I was always put in this place of feeling like I had to choose between her being my best friend at the time or him. And I hated that because they're such different relationships. And I just never agreed with feeling like I had to pick between a best friend and a boyfriend. Like we should be able to have both. And so with Merritt and I, it's like she's dated people that like they as a person did not like my intuitions were not okay with that person. But at the end of the day, like I knew she loved them and I voiced my concerns and just told her, you know what, if you choose them, I choose them because I love you at the end of the day. And I would never put you in a situation of feeling like you had to choose because we should never be put in that situation.
And
ever.
Yeah, you shouldn't have to choose. Like if there's events and outings, I think we do understand like once you become involved with somebody, life shifts a little bit, and we're understanding of that. There's another person involved. Yeah. Our lives kind of go a little different, but we always make time for each other.
Yeah.
And I think that's important because there's some people who totally leave out their friendships and make it about that's their sole partner.
Yeah.
And it's like I would lose my mind.
Yeah.
If I didn't have my friends and girl time and no podcast.
Yeah. Just talking about it all.
Yeah.
So part of why Marin and I kind of went different paths in high school is because I just was on a different path. And I ended up pregnant at 16. And so that was not what she had going on. She was over here on drill team, okay, doing good things that teenagers should be doing, and I was doing fast ass things. And anyways, yeah. So I was a mom, and I was involved into that. And so today, my daughter she just turned 16 a couple weeks ago, and it's just like a bizarre thing to look back at because just like a couple years ago, we were 13 when we met, and just to see just the difference between Lex and what we were doing at 13, and yeah.
And it's cool to see her with her little two best friends, and it's like a full circle moment of like, that was us.
Yeah.
At one point, and now we're the old ladies.
Literally.
We're old and not cool.
No style, like everything, every idea that we have gets shot down because it's just not. I don't feel old.
Yeah.
Yet
and like for you to like parent, and then it's like it's just a different dynamic. Like this whole like everything changed.
Yeah.
Like that day with the picture, and you got after her.
Oh my
and
God.
You were like, Merritt, what do you think? And I was just like, it was like, yeah, it's not a good look. And it's like, at one point, we had aunts that were like that with us.
Yeah.
And we were the kids that thought we knew everything and,
yeah,
had smart comebacks. And it was just like, nope, now it's to see her that age.
So the dynamic between my daughter and I, like I was raising her and growing up myself. I was a young mom, but I also like didn't get the experience of having a mom. So as soon as I turned 16, I wasn't even scared. It was like, okay, this is what I've been waiting for, and I'm gonna be the mom to her that I always dreamed that I had. I have a son too, but he came a few years later. But me and Lexi have, she's like my daughter, but she's also like a best friend to me. Like she's just a good kid, so I don't need to. I never had to whoop her.
You guys
Growing
grew
up
together.
we did, and it's like I tell her one thing and she listens and she responds, and um, but it's just cool because her and her friends, they're good kids, and they're not out trying to get into trouble and to doing bad things. And the picture she's talking about was this 4th of July. She went and hung out with her girlfriends, and I don't have Instagram. She does, which I always let her hang out with her girlfriends. They either come here or she's with them. They also come from really good families, and Merritt sends me a picture that she.
No, I was talking to her on the phone and I was like, oh, did you see Lex's picture? And she was like, what picture? And I'm like, girl, you didn't see it?
Oh my God.
And it was Lex and her friends, like, middle fingers up. And
they look like, so happy in this picture.
She sent it to me.
I was disturbed. I see it, and they're just cheesing. They're sticking their tongues out. And they're all just like this in the picture. And I'm just taken back because I'm like, that is not cute.
Yeah. And then Lex tried to flip it. Because what'd you say? You were like, that's not cute. And she was like, you flip off the camera?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, oh, that's the ugly part of my personality.
Yeah.
And I was just like, you know, they see what we do.
Yeah.
But it's like, you guys are too young. And then Brenna, I was on the phone with her when Lex came home. And she's talking to her. And she's like, what do you have to say, Mira? And I'm like, I'm the one that knocked her out.
Yeah, but you did say you're like, Lex, it wasn't a good look.
Yeah,
like,
it wasn't a good look.
You guys are too cute.
Yeah, you guys are too cute. That. And she was saying, she's like, you know, we're not bad kids. Like, we're good kids and we're not doing bad things. And it's like, of course, like, but you guys are just too young to be flipping off cameras.
Yeah.
And posting that for the world to see. Like,
yeah. It was just a little bizarre.
That was. Yeah, the auntie knocked her out, or narked her out.
But I will say those girls are on a much better path than what we were.
Oh yeah.
What we were at 13 or even 16. And I know I was on a way different path than you were, but still.
Like the day we were talking to them, we were like, things that we were doing, and Lex and Tara were both like,
I know.
like, what? Like, you snuck out? And I'm like, yeah, like, we were bad.
Yeah. But we also didn't have, I mean, I'll speak for me on this, but I didn't have what my daughter has today or my son has today. Like, my upbringing was very different. And I will say that my dad did the best that he could. I was raised by my dad. But because of a lot of craziness that happened in my life, like I was a young and bitter child, like just on a voyage to just fuck some shit up.
And for me, it was, I think I was just trying to test the boundaries of my mom. She was always there, but I was a teenager and I think I was influenced by a lot of people too.
Yeah.
And we didn't hang out with the best group of kids. Like skipping school and boys and craziness.
But we made it.
We made it. And I'll tell you, I've said this before, is when I have kids, they won't know the things I did.
Oh, see, I'm different. I kept it very transparent with my kids.
They straight up asked me, "Did you ever sneak out?" No, I didn't. I know someone that did, and she got kidnapped. They're still looking for her.
Oh my God!
I'm gonna terrify them. So it's like, because I don't know. I just But Lex is so different.
Yeah. I just
like, she's not ever gonna use something against you. Be like, well, you did it.
Yeah.
I could see my kids probably doing that.
Yeah.
That's something I would do.
I just like my parenting mindset was always like, I'm going to always keep it crystal clear and 100% with my kids, especially in like my experience, because I want them to understand, one, I get you. I get the things that teenagers and preteens struggle with. I've been there. But when you make decisions, they can really change the whole course of your life. And I want them to understand, like, that's a life principle. And I've let them know, like, I made bad decisions and the consequences that came with it. And I wanted to make sure that they understood things can change in an instant. And who you surround yourself with is super important. And life is not all sunshine and rainbows. There is a true reality out there that can be absolutely fucking crazy. And at the end of the day, you're responsible for yourself. And you need to be able to know right from wrong, even if the whole crowd is going in a certain direction, doesn't mean you have to go.
Mm-hmm. Because when push comes to shove, at the end of the day, if something happens, if you don't have the right friends, they'll throw you under.
Oh, yeah.
You know, everybody saves themselves.
Yeah.
And we've experienced that. We've had friends turn into enemies.
Yeah. That one from Vegas.
Like,
I will never say any names on here.
And it's like a lot of people that I considered like my best friend from high school and middle school, it's spaced out. Yeah. You know, I probably have you and one other person that I keep in touch with. But other than that, it's like, you know, even my mom would be like, I don't want you hanging out with her. Like, I don't feel good about her. She's this and this. And it was just like, I was diehard. Like, no, that's my best friend.
Yeah.
Like, we're like this. No.
Yeah.
No. Switched up real quick.
Yeah.
So I think you've opened that line of communication with your kids.
Yeah.
That you probably didn't have like with your dad.
Yeah.
At that age.
Yeah, I just did everything that I wish I had as a child that I didn't receive.
Yeah, that's what you can do.
But the really cool thing is that I love about the dynamic her and I share is now I watch my daughter and her two best friends, and they've been best friends for several years now. And they look at us because of how healthy and good of a friendship we have, how good of communication. Like, they hear us in conversation about different things that we go through as adults in life, with work, with dating, like with all these things. And they look at us and they aspire to have their friendship maintained 20 years from now and be sitting like us.
We have walked so that they can run.
Yes. Way to really make us feel fucking old. Okay.
Yeah, because we have shown them like relationships we've been in, and they've kind of seen you know, who we were before. It's like, you know, when I moved in with Brenna, I was broken. And Lex saw that. And then to see she witnessed me in those 2 years of living with her change into this whole nother person.
Yeah.
And kind of rebuild myself. She's seen her own mom do it.
Yeah.
And they've kind of set standards for themselves through us, I think. Of she's seen what her mom's gone through. Yeah. And she doesn't want that. And it's kind of like, whoa, you know, my mom's changed. She's leveled up.
You want to hold that? Let me see what's going on at the door. I'm not really sure. It sounds like somebody's pouring sand. Oh, it's a litter box.
Oh.
We're getting scared by a self-cleaning litter box.
He's like, what are you guys doing?
I was like, I said it sounded like somebody was pouring sand.
I thought it was like dumping water. No. Yeah. So it's cool to see their little friendship. And it blossom and kind of things that we didn't do though. Like we didn't get to experience like their first concert. Yeah. It's like we didn't do that.
Yeah, I sent my daughter and her two best friends. I allowed them to go to Seattle for a concert of a celebrity that they really like. And like several people were like, you're letting your daughter go down to downtown Seattle and she's only 16. Yes, I am, because I trust her. She's a good kid and she also has a really good head on her shoulders, and she knows don't don't go try to wander.
Yeah.
Like, and also just be thankful for the things that are done for you, because not all kids get this opportunity.
Yeah. Then you have to open that line of trust,
Mm-hmm.
and then give
Yeah.
them, set your expectations and give them that.
Yeah.
And then once and if it's crossed and that's broken, then there's consequences to that.
Yeah.
But until that, I mean, why not let them go to a concert?
Yeah. I feel like people have different parenting styles, and I'm not knocking anybody, but my parenting style is not to dominate, lock down, shelter my kids. It's, I'm going to set the ground rules, and I'm going to allow you to do things until you ruin it, until you lie, or until you do something to just ruin it. And they just, they're respectful of it. So I've never had to be a tough mom.
Yeah.
And so they get to do cool shit because they understand, like, I don't have to do this.
And it's like a really beautiful thing to see Brenna parent, because to see the hardship she's gone through, and then the such amazing relationship she has with her kids.
Don't make me cry.
It's like it sets a tone for me when that day comes of how I want to, like, that's an inspiring thing, is to be just like that and to have those things that I didn't have.
Yeah.
And those relationships, it's like their relationship with their kids is amazing. And I think we both teach each other things.
100%.
Like, if I had to, traits that, like, I admire that Brenna has would be obviously her parenting. I've said it over and over, her grace.
Oh, girl.
Because we're very different. We're very different. Like, she's patient, and you know, I don't know. It's like
I can still be kind to people that have done.
She can still see the good in people who have wronged her.
Yeah.
And will still be kind. You wrong me, so you might as well just
You become a brick wall to her.
That's what you're gonna get, is a brick wall. Yeah. So it's the grace, and I'm kind of in this transition where I'm trying to learn that. And what other traits? Her outgoingness. I'm not as outgoing. I'm not as.
But that's where we balance each other. Like yin and yang.
Yeah, we are yin and yang.
Merritt's more like.
I'm more like reserved, the quiet, the like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, Brenna, wild.
I don't care who's around.
Brenna, she will always dance. She will always sing. She doesn't care. And I don't know. That's admiring.
I think what I admire about you is like your thoughtfulness. You think about things in such a creative way for people, and I don't have that attribute, especially when it comes to like occasions like birthdays, or especially birthdays. Like, she'll think about shit and she'll tell me what she's doing. I'm like, how the fuck did you even come up with that? Like, I can't, my brain doesn't even hold that capacity. And it's so to the detail. And I love that. But she's such a gentle spirit. Like, she's just a gentle soul, just very charismatic, and she never has like a judginess about her. Just like a good human.
Yeah. You just always have to, unless you do me wrong. But I look at everybody as, I can't hold somebody at fault for something somebody else did, you know?
Yeah.
I can't, friendships, relationships.
Yeah.
Co-workers, stuff like that. It's like, and even, I was just saying the other day, like, I don't really, I was thinking, like, people who have a bad day, and then they let that day, like that instant, like ruin their whole day.
Yeah.
So it's like, I could be going through something in my relationship, I don't take it to work.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a whole different person. It's like,
Yeah.
there are people who do that. It's like,
Yeah.
something at home is bothering them and then they bring it to work
Yeah.
and everybody else pays for it. And
Yeah.
it's just like, I really don't take my anger out on other people.
You don't get stirred up about it. Like, we'll talk about it,
Yeah.
but it's not anything that like disturbs your being.
Yeah.
That for a lot of us, it's like that.
Yeah. Like, internally in my head, I'm frustrated with what's happening, but I'm
Yeah.
not gonna make Brenna pay for something he did, or like
Yeah.
make my coworkers, or make, take that stuff, make my boyfriend pay for things my coworkers did.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
I don't know how people live like that.
I don't feel like I'm like that, but I do
Well,
feel like I have a short fuse.
Yeah.
Where if there's just too much going on,
I'm
like,
not a confrontational person, so I kind of just bury it, and it'll fester in me. Brennan will call you out. And yeah.
It's yin and yang.
Yeah.
Like,
it's a balance.
Yeah.
Of calm and wild.
But we challenge each other because sometimes she'll help me where I'm just like too stirred up. I'm like, all right, listen, am I doing too much right now? And she'll be like, you know what, yeah. And then she'll talk to me. But as far as like her being reserved and stuff, I've got her to karaoke with me before. So like
once.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's like we're pushing each other like outside of comfort zones into just like grow.
Yeah.
In small
And there are
areas.
those moments where it's like, okay, and to just let loose.
Yeah.
And I don't regret them at all.
No.
It's just, it takes a little bit.
Yeah.
From liquid courage.
Yeah.
Like she could karaoke with no alcohol in her.
Yeah, because I don't care. I don't care what people think. Like,
I gotta be on a good one.
Yeah.
You gotta get me on a good one.
There's people like I could do it in front of people, and you could tell when somebody's totally judging you, and I'll just smile at them and flip them off and be like, "Fuck you!" Like I'm having a good time. Sorry, you're so bothered about something that has nothing to do with you. Yeah. Like,
and I think I overthink things because in my mind I'm like, oh my god, this whole place is probably like, what the fuck? She can't fucking sing.
Yeah,
but nobody's thinking that because when people go up in karaoke, I'm not sitting there like, oh my god. It's just like, good job. Like, you fucking did it. You went up there. You might not have been good, but you went up there. Yeah. So it's like, why do I think in my head that everybody's like, oh my god, like, and everyone's gonna talk about me for years. Yeah.
But I feel like it's a normal feeling because there's so much judgment that happens in society. Mm-hmm. Like, we're always naturally, like, I deal with it too, but I'm just more carefree about it. But naturally, like, people have shit to say. Mm-hmm. And not everybody's courageous or brave. And so when you do have the people that do that, like, you automatically think somebody's judging you. And so that's not, just because some do it doesn't mean everybody does it.
Yeah. Yeah. And we have like this, I think for a while it was just Brenna and I. Like, we didn't really have any outside friends. No. We had friends that we hung out with, and now it's like we have our little clique because we have Jamie and Kayla. Yeah. And it's 4 very different personalities. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Very. Mm-hmm. You have wild Brenna, spicy Jamie, Mama Kayla. Yeah. And then like the calm.
Yeah. She's the calm of the storm.
Yeah. And it's like it's so cool to like have that group now. Mm-hmm.
We call it the OG4.
The OG4.
And it's like we all go back to high school.
And it's such a entangled friendships. Yeah. Because it's Brenna and I are, and we're like explaining that to people. It's like Brenna and I are best friends. So it's the 4 of us. Brenna and I are best friends. Kayla and Jamie are best friends. Yeah. And then we grouped together. Yeah. And we all went to the same school at one point. Yeah. Yeah. They're older.
Just a couple years.
Yeah. And then one dated my brother, and it's just like the dynamics of it is just like an entangled friendship. But it's like we all balance each other. Yep. It's like a spectrum of
personality.
Gets wild and wild.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
when we're together, it's just like the best time.
Oh yeah. And
But
they're
nowadays,
supportive
mm-hmm,
to have that support,
yep,
and to, our group chat is wild.
yeah. But now we've reached the area of life of like, it ain't being able to text all each other 2 days before the weekend hits of like, hey, let's go have a girls' night or all this. It's like, no, life has progressed. Like, Merritt's in a relationship now. Kayla's in a relationship. Jamie is a mom. I'm a mom. And so now, us getting together, the four of us, we're booking it a month and a half to 2 months out because we all have so many things going on in our lives. And I think the most beautiful thing about it is there's not a single one of us that we don't get offended. Like we understand. We don't get mad of like, what the heck, so and so is always busy, or why do we have to book so far out? It's like, no, that's just where we're at in life. We're growing up.
We literally, like, it's a joke. Like it's a joke, but we
laugh about it.
We laugh about it.
Yeah.
It's like, what's everybody doing a month from now?
Yeah.
And like, I think I told Brenna, and I was like, oh, I'm available the first week of November. And she was like, looked at me like, are you serious? And I'm like, dead ass. Like, I have something every weekend until that's like my first free weekend.
Yeah.
And it was just like, that's the reality of everybody. And I'm sure when that weekend comes, somebody's gonna like, I forgot I have something.
Yeah.
And it might just be three of us. But it's like, and we're all on different paths.
We are.
But I feel like we're all on different paths, but we're all after the same thing in life.
Yeah.
Is we all just want to be happy. Yeah. We all just want to be in something, healthy relationships.
And see each other doing good.
Yeah. And support each other.
Yeah.
We want everybody happy. But it is like the different paths. Like, two of them are moms, but Brenna's kids are older, and Jamie has a younger one.
Yeah.
So it's like a different dynamic of parenting. It's, if Jamie she has to get a babysitter.
Yeah.
Or on one of,
where I just leave my kids
when it's not her weekend, but it's like Brenna's at a point where she can leave her kids at home.
I have a preteen and a teenager.
Like, her kids are doing something, so she can get away. So it's like, she's not having like, oh, I don't have a sitter, I can't go.
Yeah.
It's really not like that. And then for Kayla and I, it's relationships, but Miss Kayla's a busy bee.
I love her.
And her schedule is different.
Yeah.
Than all of ours.
She's a bartender, so she's night owl.
She's our night owl.
Yeah. But we get together when we can as the four of us, but sometimes like the three of them are able to get together and I can't. I do live a little bit further than the rest of them, but nobody gets mad. It's like, I think that's what I value the most, because in previous friendships, like I've experienced, were just stupid little arguments or issues would
People
arise.
Get offended and hold you these little grudges towards you about it, and it's,
or what, it's so pointless and it's so petty, and it really ruins good things. And I think I'm just really glad that the four of us are not that way, because what are the odds of that? Like, and so her and I, she was over like last weekend or something recent, and the sun is here.
You can't be on the internet.
Sorry, I had to my son just got home. But, what I was saying was, just last weekend, her and I were at, she came over and her and I had to go to Michael's Arts and Crafts for some stuff. And we're just like walking around and just going through all the different aisles, and we come to the jewelry aisle, and she mentioned like how fun it would be to have a girls' night, just all making charm bracelets. And I'm like, oh my God. So I record a video of all the charms and like telling the girls like, how can we do this? And so I sent the video in our group chat. I'm like, what's everybody's schedule a month and a half from now?
Yeah.
But it's like that though.
Yeah.
But it's cool though, but it works.
It does.
It works for us.
And so like, we always have each other's backs. At the end of the day.
Yep. Support each other, there for each other, have phone calls when we can. And when one's down, we pick each other up.
Yeah, we all show up. Someone's going through something, we all pull together and do something. Flowers, a little gift bag or something.
Yeah.
just to cheer each other up, the other up.
Friendship is important, and I think healthy friendship is important. Like I really don't know, like I would be so sad if like that part of my life was missing, like if I didn't have that.
Yeah.
Because it keeps things, I think, balanced for me. It gives me a sense of self, I think, outside of like working a busy and high stress job and then just a mom and busy and going. Like it allows me to pull away and have a sense of self with my girlfriends and like step away from the responsibility of work. And I'm literally being judged by my son, and I won't even make eye contact with him right now as he's like walking by. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it is important. I think it's something to help you grow in all areas and a support system.
Yeah, 100%.
It's like, you have friends that your acquaintance friends or something, but it's like you have your girls that you go to, like your go-tos. And they're my go-tos, and but Brenna's like the ride or die. Like all the way through. Like I couldn't, and like there's times where like our lives are busy, and like I said, we talk to each other every day after work. And if something's going on where we don't, and like 2 days later, it's like we call me like, I haven't talked to you. Like it feels weird.
I know.
Or like we're on vacation or something. It's just like we call each other as soon as we get back, and it's just like so weird not talking. Every day.
Yep. But you know how like in some friendships, because I talk to her every day, but I don't talk to Jamie and Kayla every day. But you know how like some people get mad like if they don't hear from you because life gets busy, things get hectic, and we don't have a second to get on the phone with each other. It's like that is not a dynamic of our friendship. I think we have no toxic shit in our friend group between the four of us. And that's
like
rare.
If I call Kayla and she doesn't answer, like, I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, she'll call me when she wants. And then it might be 2 days later that she realizes, sorry, I had a missed call. Or it's like text, same. It's like, text her, and if she doesn't reply, or Jamie, and, nobody's just like.
But yet we've seen each other active on, like, social media.
Yeah.
But haven't returned the call or text. We don't get mad
about it. What the hell are you
doing?
doing? Like, I text you.
Yeah.
For me, sometimes I might just be like, are you alive?
Yeah.
Like, I haven't heard from you. I texted you 2 days ago.
Yeah.
But it's like, we all understand. Like, then if somebody posts on social media, I'm like, okay, she's alive.
Yeah.
She's okay.
Yep.
She just doesn't want to text me.
Yeah.
But no, they're important.
Healthy friendships are important.
Yeah. And yeah, because we both know what a toxic friendship is, and it was with the same person.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it really taught us.
But I think that's like true in like life though, because it even goes to like family, it goes to relationships with a significant other. It's just like you learn to identify it, and you learn what you want and what you don't want, and you become very selective. And so for me, after that friendship just ended with the mutual friend of ours, like I was good with Merritt, but I was nervous to trust anybody after that because of how just bad that was. And eventually, like now I've got that with Jamie and Kayla, but like it's like that in other relationships. You learn from experience what you want and what you don't want, and you become very selective and very protective of making sure you're only keeping and cultivating what you want, because that other shit is detrimental and destructive.
And we're the we're the OG4. Ow, can you not? We're the OG4. And then Kayla and I were out one day, and we met a girl, Taylor, and love her, and we introduced her to Jamie and Brenna.
Yeah.
And it was just like, you kind of have that initial, like, who's this
Yeah.
other person you're bringing in.
Yeah.
And I think Jamie at first was like that, like, what the hell? Like, who's coming in? And now it's like, now that's the Fab Five.
Yeah.
It's like,
we love Taylor.
we're the OG four, and then when you include Taylor, it's like that's the Fab Five.
Yeah. She's a few years younger than
Yeah,
us.
she's the baby.
But that girl got some wisdom.
Yeah.
She was like educating. I'm like, hold on, why are you younger than me and telling me shit? But it was so admirable.
Yeah. And now it's like we're all best friends.
Yeah.
Jamie loves her. And first it was like that, like, whoa, like, what are you doing here?
Yeah. Yep.
And I think we also important is like when other friends become involved. Like, you know, Stephanie and I got close. Yeah. You didn't feel
threatened or
anything.
And
you know, we were hanging out all the time. She's lives closer to me. And it's, you know, Jamie has other friends outside of us. Kayla has other friends. You do, and it's like we don't.
No, I don't. I don't. I ain't got no time. I ain't got no time for that. Like, I have acquaintances, but I don't hang out with nobody outside of the Fab Four and my kids and my family because the capacity is slim. I'm still trying to figure out how to get a man in there. Like,
I'm done. I don't. But if you did, we wouldn't ever feel threatened.
You're right.
It's
yeah,
like
100%. I mean, because I guess like I would hang out with Maxie, Christina, and them, and nobody. Yeah. Yeah, I guess.
And I feel like, you know, like even Josie, like,
yeah,
she's technically family, but I feel like she's become a friend to you.
Oh yeah, anyways, me and Josie have got like very close.
Yeah.
I actually sent her the picture of me and him at the drag show. That was cool. There's a lot of things that like I value. I was gonna say I think I value. No, I know I value because when you can look out, it's not always that way between people. There's things that come up. There's, you know, fights that take place, and I think I'm just like really grateful to have something where it's like there's no unnecessary chaos because we get it, and our personalities are just like not offended, not controlling, and we're just.
And I think we can
gracious, even though you say you don't have like grace. Yeah, you do.
Yeah. For you guys.
Thank God.
Other people, no. But you guys don't do stuff that's like common sense. Like, why would you do that to somebody?
Yeah.
You guys don't really do anything.
We don't cause hurt to people. We're not selfish. I think that's it.
Yeah.
We are not selfish people, and I think that's what makes our dynamics. OG4, like our dynamic, like strong.
Yeah. But also I was thinking like, I think you and I have like a very
I'm listening. I'm just gonna turn this off.
A way to be able to, if we tell each other something, I think we're able to process it.
Yeah.
Without like, she tells me something crazy and my first initial thought comes out of my mouth. It's like, that doesn't happen. It's like I can process it in my head to be like, okay, I know how to approach Brenna.
Yeah.
She knows how to approach me. I know what she's going to respond to, and what she knows what I would respond to well, and how to approach each other.
Yeah. And that's a skill though. And that's a skill like you like learn at work, is how to communicate and understand different people, because there's different personality types. And I think that you're right. Like we've mastered that. Like I was saying earlier, when we lived together, like I knew how to read her when she came in, and because she would get home later than I did, I could tell by her body language and just her face expression of, I'm not going to be all like over the top energy and try to hold big conversation with her, because I could tell she's not in that place. And then so it's same with like life experience. Like when we share things with each other, like we know how to handle it and deal with it as it comes.
Yeah. It's like I know, like if she's telling me something, I know not to be like, are you fucking crazy? Like, what the fuck are you thinking?
She will tell me that just in different words.
Well, yeah, you have to like
yeah.
word it different. She's like, oh, okay, like I and it is like I see where you're coming from.
Yeah.
But kind of give that person another dynamic of a way to look at it.
Yeah.
And then like we just recently did that the other day, where it was just like she saw my point of view, but she also saw his, and it was kind of like, I see where you're coming from, but he
we were able to
ultimately
share.
He was in the right.
Yeah.
And I was in the wrong. So it was just like, okay.
But we were able to share because sometimes we're caught in a situation so we can only see things from one perspective. Whereas an outsider, which was me at that moment, was able to see things at a grander scheme of like, yes, I get you, but this is what I see from his perspective. And we're able to bring that like full circle for each other.
It's not that she's always going to have, I think she will always support me. It's not that she's always going to have my back and be biased. And, you know, there are people like that will be like, no, he's in the wrong and blah, blah, blah.
Like, you're my friend and I got your back no matter what.
Yeah, like you're always right. It's,
but I'm going to tell you when you're wrong in a very loving way.
Yeah. And,
but I think grow because like you were struggling in that moment. And then we had that conversation and it was like, it allowed you to see things from a perspective that hadn't even crossed your mind.
Yeah. And I think I've seen stuff where people, that's where I was going, was people who talk about, you know, stuff in your relationship should be kept between you and your partner. And to an extent, I believe that.
Yeah.
But because I have a healthy friendship, I can take those things to Brenna and share and know that I can get either a pause. I'll always get feedback. And an honest feedback and not a biased feedback. Because there are people like that believe that, like, what's going on in your relationship, your marriage should stay in between your relationship and marriage. And it's like, wait, he sees it one way and I can't see it.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing it one way that he might not be able to see it. And it's like, if I'm wrong, she could tell me I'm wrong. And it's I need that other opinion.
Yeah. But I think on the other side of that too, which thank God we haven't had that ordeal in the relationship here and now. But even when we would have conversations where that other person she was dating was just doing some fucked off shit, like she knew she could tell me those things because when I would come around, I treated that person as if I never had that information. I still treated them with like
and that's
respect.
the important. Is there are people that you will tell things to, and then it changes the dynamics of things. And makes it awkward. And it wasn't that she was making it awkward, even though she knew a lot of things.
But he didn't know that I knew because I didn't treat him as if I had that knowledge.
But it's like, I think Brenna knows everything. Like, everything.
She knows everything too.
Everything.
When I call her and I'm like, well, and that's how it starts. She knows.
It's like, okay.
She's like, the next words. So that's my words where she answers. She's like, hello. And I'm like, well, she's like, what the fuck did you do?
Same. It's like, well, we're like, okay, so.
That's how we know we're getting ready to go into like a therapy session because there's some fucked up shit that we're getting ready to go into.
Or like in our text, we're like, girl. It's just that word. And I send just the eyes emoji.
And I'm like, oh waiting. God, what happened?
I'm waiting to be like, okay, what's going on? She's about to tell me some tea.
Yeah.
No, I really do cherish. It's not anything I've ever had.
Same. I think this is probably the most,
and I would say like
healthiest out of any relationship I've ever had.
And I've had another friendship before, and it wasn't so much as a fallout. It was just kind of we grew apart. Different things going on in our lives, but nothing negative.
Yeah.
And it's just, I think we hold on to what we really cherish, what we have.
Yeah.
And We're gonna be in the old people home together,
Fucking it up.
fucking it up.
It's
Or
gonna
one
be
of these
wild.
2 kids are gonna take care of us.
Probably Papa.
Papa.
How my son. I call my son Papa. Lex is gonna be like, Mom, I'm busy.
No,
You're
she's
on
like,
your own.
I can't. Could you imagine like we're 80 years old and Lex is screaming through the house with her like excitement?
Yeah.
When she gets excited, she's like yelling and screaming and
Yeah.
like where were we 80? Like take our hearing aids out.
I know. We're all rocking on the rocking chair. It's gonna be great. Life goes fast. And I think you should cherish the good people when you have them and be open and good with growing in your weak areas. And I think that's what we do for each other and our friend group as a whole. And yeah, hang on to people.
Yeah.
When they're good ones.
Yeah.
So thanks so much for tuning in to our first podcast. We love to just share and talk about things, and so we really wanted to create this space of just being able to talk about things, be very vulnerable, and have very just open and raw conversation. We'll keep names out for the most part unless we're like on good terms.
Yeah.
With the person and we know,
Yeah.
like, but
We
we're
won't
not
call
even
anybody
a
out.
lawsuit. But this is going to be a very transparent place.
Yeah.
Like it's 2 minds, no limits, which means like we're going to talk about it and we're going to be real about it and have fun.
Give ideas, topics, different things you want us to touch base on.
Yeah.
Anything, because there's no limits. There's no limits. Because literally our conversations are crazy.
Yeah. Fucking crazy. So yeah, until next time, thanks so much, and we will see you